Hey y'all, IrixGuy here. Welcome back to another live show. Let's see. Welcome aboard. It says Nate Sarog says the music is bumping. That's great. Toby Bussery says, really, IrixGuy's haven't been on for a while. Just thought to join in as I'm still up. Very cool. Legit Drone says, thanks IrixGuy for all your help and teaching me how to use my Phantom. Hey, thanks for your viewership and thanks for the feedback. And more importantly, thanks for tuning in live, because this is, obviously, if you're watching this at 2:25 p.m. New York City time on President's Day 2017, this is a live show. So I've had a rare opportunity to host a live show and do it in the middle of the day, which is great. Usually I have an abundance of things going on, but actually today I'm taking off. Actually took off from the gym too because, it's President's Day. But I got some cool stuff here. Nate Sarog says, looking forward to Final Cut Pro tutorials. We are all learning together. Send me a list of topics if you want to, because I just did the Final Cut Pro 10 color saturation tutorial, and obviously I'm always looking for other topics. So if there's something you want to know, and maybe I'm familiar with how to do that within Final Cut Pro 10, I'd love to take the time to create a video. Not just a video, but multiple tutorial videos. So, any topics that you're curious about, just shoot me a message and I'll see if I can whip them up, because I'm always looking for new video content. Legit Drone says, what is your most favorite shot to perform with a film drone? Well, there's so many things. I like when this live show began, you saw the island and I was flying over the island. I like really cool landscapes. I think those are neat. It just gives, when you're watching a drone video, not only does it provide a different perspective, but it just gives you a sense of scale, the environment, how large the environment is. One of my favorite shots is when I'm going forward is to concurrently tilt the camera, because it gives that kind of rolling over type look that one can only get with a drone. So that's one of my favorite shots. Podman, welcome aboard. Good to see you again too. Benjamin, hello. I've got some stuff today, and this is kind of neat. And I will post a link after this live show concludes within the video's description. But this is a brand called True Wood, and it's actually wood. I mean, when you smell it, it even smells like wood. But this stuff, this right here, and they come in different styles. But this is a pair of aviator sunglasses. So let me get them out here so y'all can see. What we're talking about here. So it's got a little microfiber cloth. This is my True Wood, and again, I'll post a link within this video's description. But a really nice wooden case, and then you've got this pouch for the sunglasses. It's kind of a just a little thing. But these are aviators, UV 400 protection. It says, and see, then they're made. The side part here. This is wood. You can see there's wood right there. It says True Wood. So you may have seen these on some TV shows. I don't know. I can't remember exactly which ones, but it's a new trend. It's just kind of cool because I needed a pair of sunglasses. There I am with my True Wood zone. So I thought that was kind of cool. Bigger head, got to wear sunglasses that fit my big head. So those are very cool. Now, what also is neat is not only do you have True Wood sunglasses, but you got this. Now, this is going to blow your mind right here. I knew it blew my mind. So this is a True Wood wristwatch. Comes with a really nice pillow. Almost feels like it may be made out of hemp or something. Really nice, really nice wooden case to keep it in when you're not wearing it. But this, cat fur. Sean Coonery was in the studio. This is really cool because it's just very interesting looking. Now keep in mind, this is made out of wood. So, how many times have you seen a wooden wristwatch? It's got a little protective plastic piece on here I'm going to take off. It was just shipping material so it didn't get scratched. But I mean, when you're looking for something just kind of unique, I would say this definitely fits the bill. I'm going to take off my Apple Watch. Just as a size comparison, this is the Apple Watch Series 2, and this is one of many TrueWood watches. It's got a little protective piece here so the battery won't drain before I put it in use. So I took that out. I can set the time. It's 2:30 New York City time. Got you a little clasp right there. Bam. And it's super light. I mean, it's made out of wood. I mean, how cool? How cool is that? It is made out of wood. So anyway, that was just some extra bonus stuff. I thought that was kind of neat. Something to add to today's live show. Nothing super expensive, but something that just, if you're looking for something just kind of neat and you had never thought about a wooden watch or a wooden pair of sunglasses, it's something that you can that you may choose to explore because it's kind of neat. But anyway, let's get back to some drone stuff here, and I'm going to keep my wooden watch on for the show here. I don't think I need the sunglasses for the show. It's not that bright on my monitor. Yeah, so we got, how many flights have you flown? Wait a minute. Nate's Rock says, what would be cool if you took an episode you videoed and went through step by step in Final Cut Pro? That would really help a lot. That's a great point. I could go step by step through the editing, the color correction, the transitions, the intro and the outro, and then how I export it. Which settings do I use in Compressor to prepare that project for upload to YouTube? Because I do use settings that optimize it for YouTube upload. How many drone flights have you flown? Legit drones, that's a great question. You know what's funny, man? I have flown so many to give a precise count. And again, this would date back to where I just became interested, when I just became interested with the hobby. And that would have been the Phantom 1. So, I mean, counting all of those all the way through present, I would say easily 500 or 600 drone flights. So, that's just an educated estimate based upon I know what I've done. Toby says, I managed to fix my drone, ordered the parts, and set a new set of aerials and props, thinking of buying another battery, but learning to fly farther away. Just need more info about the DJI battery. And then I says, do you fly your drone in the rain? I have, but I do not recommend it. So basically what happened, I was out, I had dinghied to shore, and I had my drone in a waterproof and ruggedized case, and I wanted to get this. It was just a really cool tropical environment, nothing around, accessible by boat only. And I was determined to get that because I didn't know when I would be back in that location. So I took off, and there was a slight drizzle, and then it got kind of heavy. Now when it got heavy, I immediately took everything to the ground and turned everything off because I didn't want to risk any sort of short circuit. I mean, ultimately I'd already done that by flying in a mild amount of rain, but it's something I've always preached with drones, and that is risk reward. And when I say risk, I don't mean unsafe. When I say risk, I mean like the drone in a safe environment where if it did become subjected to water, what if it does destroy it? I mean, that obviously would not be something I would want to encounter, but if I did, before I took off, I completely assumed that I would never see that drone again because it may become damaged and disappear in a safe and responsible location. So, for me, sometimes those are the best shots that I get, the ones where I'm in a really cool environment and maybe there is a little bit of questionable weather. Nothing unsafe, but something that could potentially damage the drone like rain. And then Legit Drone says, I would not recommend flying in the rain. Snow is fine. I actually flew in the snow last night, but when I went sledding with my siblings and my parents, just don't let the snow melt. John Corey says, I fly in the rain, but he's from Detroit. That's cool. B. Hendo says, anyone think DJI is about to announce a new Mavic drone due to their recent post on their Instagram page? You know, my gut tells me I don't think it's going to necessarily be a new Mavic drone. Well, I'm sure there probably will be a new Mavic drone in the future, but what I'm expecting now is and this is just my own speculation, but I'm expecting a Phantom 5. Because I think the Phantom 4 Pro, yeah, very nice. Love that 4K 60. But I think the DJI's realized with their Phantom 4 Pro that it wasn't 100% what people wanted. I know with mine, unfortunately, I got the intermittent, what I would call video spasms, and I couldn't get rid of it when I was filming in 4K 60. I got intermittent video spasms, and it just made that video less than optimal for me. And obviously, for that reason, I'm still loyal to the Phantom 4. The Phantom 4 today, being President's Day, February the 20th of 2017, today the Phantom 4 is still my favorite drone. And that's just based upon the proven reliability of the drone itself, the stability of the video, and just the consistently excellent quality of the video at 4K 30. No, it doesn't have 4K 60 like the Pro, but at 4K 30 it's been a rock solid and reliable experience for me. So I think, with that being said, I think we're due a new drone from DJI. Now, is it going to be badged Mavic or is it going to be badged Phantom 5? Are they going to discontinue the Phantom line? I mean, there's a lot of speculation out there. I honestly think that we're going to see, and Legit Drones made a great point. They're making a racing quad. That's an industry that would make sense for DJI to dabble with. I mean, they're not, DJI for me has always been an aerial camera. It's been a camera that's this gimbal stabilizer. You can capture some just really unique shots that you can't get with any other camera out there today. But for them to want to enter for them to fail to enter the drone racing business would not be advantageous for them, because ultimately there are a lot of people out there that enjoy a drone, but they could care less about snapping a photo or taking a video with it. They're doing it for sport. So, it would make sense, since they've got the technology to manufacture the drones, to be able to incorporate that into their product catalog. Something that if someone's interested in racing, well, hey, go to DJI. They can be your number one racing drone source as well. So that only makes sense. Martin says, hello, bros. Still love your channel. Well, hey, I love your viewership, and I'm trying to get as much out there as I can content-wise. Again, just the feedback from my viewers here. Videos that you want to see just today. About a video about editing a drone video from cradle to grave. From start to finish. That's a great suggestion. Legit Jones says, I've only flown like 35 drone flights, man. That's a start. That's better than. It definitely signals a fascination with the hobby, because that's more than one or two flights. It's like, man, this is boring, and never want to do it again. So that's really good. You're addicted too. Christian says, hello, IrixGuy. How are you today? I'm doing great. Hope you're doing great. It is President's Day, so I'm getting the opportunity to do a live show and have a good time. B. Hendo says, do you think you should have to be registered as a commercial? I don't talk politics on here. I'm sorry. It's no offense. I don't. I'm a hobbyist. So, Greg says, anyone have issues with focus on the Mavic Pro at night? I can't comment on that. I never fly drones at night, but I don't know. Maybe someone else is. Let's see. Nate's Rock says, sorry to hear Bubba's passing. It was a sad day. Yeah, that Bubba is the main guy from Drone Evangelist. Now, the Drone Evangelist will be making a comeback. I know there hasn't been a Drone Evangelist episode recently, and that's a huge component of IrixGuy's Adventure channel. Drone Evangelist, if you're not familiar with him, go to droneevangelist.com. He's a character that his mission is to preach safe and responsible drone use. To go out there and and be safe and responsible and project the image of safety. But not only project the image of safety, but encourage others to follow in his footsteps. So he's kind of like the he's kind of like the he's the direct opposite of the media. The media, they're always looking for conflict. They're looking for conflict because it sells. It sells advertisements. It makes them more money. So they're looking for conflict. So when the media sees a drone, they're like, "Oh man, let's find all the dirt and let's blow this up into a news story and make more advertising dollars." When a drone evangelist sees a drone, he sees the good in the drone. He sees the good that can come from the hobby, and he sees the value of preaching to others. Again, safe and responsible drone use ownership. So, let's see. Legit Drone says, have you considered helping search and rescue teams in your area? That sounds good. I'm strictly a hobbyist just because I enjoy, I just enjoy part of the thrill for this for me, again, and I haven't really said a lot about it on my channel, but being an early adopter of computers, building my first computers, MS-DOS computers, Linux computers, etc., building servers, building all of that at an early age, and being able to tinker with the technology, stuff that didn't work 100% well, stuff that, it took a lot of tweaking and a lot of troubleshooting to make it work. That's why I'm addicted to drones. I'm addicted to drones for the fun. And it's weird to say that problems are fun, but within the realm of technology, things that can at times be problematic are things that can also be entertaining and educational at the same time. So that's why I really like drones. It's a nonstop discovery process. Something new comes out, it's not going to work 100%. Why does it not work? What can I do to fix it? How can I share that with others? It's a nonstop process, and it provides, again, educational value, entertainment value, whatever one's looking for. A drone can do that. So that's why I'm addicted to the hobby. Let's see. Jesse says, I use SD card camera reader to my phone. Video and pictures look amazing. Then I edit video or picture, then upload to social media, and it gets so distorted. How come? Well, that would be related to the compression settings that you're using before you upload it to YouTube, and that's check out my 4K export tutorial on my 4K video export tutorial video on my YouTube channel, because within that video, what I explain is how I export all of my videos. Now, these are drone videos, my Sony Alpha right here, my GoPro videos. Everything I'm using, I'm doing everything in 4K nowadays. So it's the settings that I've found that have, from my experience, have been optimized for upload to YouTube. Because keep in mind, the video that you upload to YouTube, once it uploads to YouTube, YouTube also processes the video on YouTube's end. So you want to make sure that the way that you've processed it prior to uploading to YouTube is optimized for YouTube, so that when YouTube processes it, that you can get the best video and audio quality possible. B. Endo says, when do you think DJI will announce newest drone? My gut's telling me in March. We're right now, we're at the time of hosting this live show. It's February the 20th. And my gut says that March, we'll likely see something new from DJI. And my gut's saying, I think a lot of y'all are on with the speculation that DJI is about to enter the drone racing scene very heavily. I think that's highly plausible. And I think that's something that that we'll see. But I also think we're going to see a Phantom 5 and something smaller, more lightweight. Maybe not as small as a Mavic, but something more capable, more pro level, but maybe between the size of the current model Phantom 4 or Phantom 4 Pro and the Mavic Pro, with a modular camera, retractable landing gear, something more, a little bit more professional, and hopefully at a lower price point. I think now it's time that the DJI starts to lower their expectations from a cost perspective, because they've got, the stuff's getting expensive. They need to reach a broader audience, and I think they need to do that. Benjamin says, Do you think the Phantom 5 could take panoramic photos? That would be my assumption. I mean, in theory, all one would have to do if you've got a drone, you could snap a photo. You're hovering, snap a photo, move slightly to the left or the right, snap another photo, move slightly to the left or the right, and keep going. And then you've got, let's just say, 5 or 6 photos. Then you could piece them together post-production in a program such as Adobe Bridge. I know that's one that's easy to do. You can put multiple photos side by side. It'll merge the photos into a very wide type image. John says, have you ever had a flyaway? I've never had a flyaway, but I attribute that to, number one, I always properly calibrate. I make sure I'm running the most current firmware. I make sure I understand the operations of the drone. I do my pre-flight checklist to ensure that everything is safe and ready for flying. And I've never had it, and I'm not flying in a location where there's any sort of electronic interference that could potentially create problems for the drone. So I never had that. So that's pretty much. Let's see. Tony says, please could. Let's see. So yeah, this is just a quick show today. I've got a lot, and keep in mind when this new DJI drone comes out, hopefully within a few weeks, I'm going to have my hands all over it, and it's going to be all over this channel. So, yeah, I'm stoked about that. Right now, it's kind of a weird period. We've seen the Mavic, and a lot of people, there's mixed opinions in regards to the Mavic. Mine's that it's not quite there from a video stability and quality perspective. The Phantom 4 Pro, it's not quite there because the 4K 60 is intermittently spasms, for lack of a better way to describe that. So there needs to be something new, and I'm excited to find what's new, and I'm excited to showcase it here on the IrixGuy's Adventure channel. B. Hendo says, is the Phantom 4 Pro as well as the Mavic really good displaying the live video feed in 1080? Well, keep in mind when I'm flying my Mavic or Phantom 4 or Phantom 4 Pro, I'm just using this little bitty iPod Touch. So, I'm flying line of sight to be safe and responsible. And basically all I'm using this for is, as comparison, I'm using it as a viewfinder of sorts. Just to make sure that what I'm filming is within the camera's field of view. And I've also got this so I can manipulate the camera settings, etc. if I need to. So, I've never really scrutinized the video quality of the FPV feed. It's always been beyond acceptable for me. Greg says, where is the drone announcement you're talking about? Can't find anything online. Actually, it's not. There's nothing out there formal that I'm aware of yet. This is just based upon their DJI's historically what their release cycle has been, and that's a new drone in March. So it would only make sense unless for some reason they abandon their release cycle and come up with something new. But I would expect one in March. I think Zoom on the next drone would be highly plausible. Jeffrey says, do you still like the Karma, the GoPro Karma? I love GoPro, and I love GoPro cameras. Right now, actually, my favorite GoPro camera, it's not the Black Edition, but it's just the GoPro Hero 5 Session. I found that the 4K 30 video quality of this is great. This does not have user replaceable batteries, but it's I just take a battery bank with me and I'm good to go. And I've really enjoyed it. The Karma grip is neat because you can get gimbal stabilized footage handheld. The Karma drone for me, even though they've re-released it after what they felt was a potential problem with the unit that would potentially cause it to fall to the ground while flying, I just don't, I was one of the early people that had the GoPro Karma drone before it was recalled, and I was able to fly it before it was recalled, and I developed a very educated opinion, in regards to the GoPro Karma before it was recalled, and my opinion was that, number one, it was poor timing because DJI ultimately came out with the Mavic Pro at the same time, and it just killed any sort of hype, pertaining to GoPro Karma drones. So that was poor timing. GoPro couldn't have done anything about that. They could have failed to release their original version of the Karma and release something better, but they chose to release it. And then the next unfortunate chain of events was the product recall. So they released something that was kind of lackluster, and then DJI came out with DJI Mavic Pro, totally outshined the Karma, and it was recalled. So then you couldn't even get it. They missed their holiday selling season. And then the Karma recently was re-released after apparently they've resolved the issue that may have caused it to fall from the sky. But even if mine worked well, so keep in mind my unit, I flew it a few times before it was recalled, and it worked well. But at least with the current model GoPro cameras, you couldn't get 4K video and not have fisheye. If you're going to do what's called linear mode, you would have to reduce the video quality to a lesser setting, something less than 4K. And for me, that wasn't optimal. And when I was filming in 4K, it wasn't great because I had the fisheye. There was no way to get around that. And I know there's some tricks that people can do in post, but do you really want to spend all that time with a video workflow when you can just get a competitor's product, like a DJI Phantom or a DJI Mavic, and not have to deal with all those tasks in post-production? The concept was cool because you use the same GoPro camera that you would also use, on your handheld GoPro Karma Grip gimbal or other GoPro mounts. So it was kind of cool. You just had one camera and you had multiple ways to utilize that same camera. But the size and weight advantage was negligible. I mean, when you had even though the drone folded, to put it beside a Phantom, there's not a huge difference from a size and weight perspective. So again, I'm not bashing GoPro. I love GoPro. GoPro is today my favorite action camera. With that said, I'm highly curious about the Sony action cameras when Sony comes out with one that'll do 4K 60, and I may make the switch to Sony action cameras at that point. But yeah, for the drone, maybe GoPro will come out with another GoPro Karma model, but version 1 is I'm not interested. It's not for me. As much as I hate that, because I had built up the pump for it for like months before it came out because I was so excited, and now So Behendo says, I still have the Phantom 3 4K non-Lightbridge edition, so I'm debating what to get next. You know what, man? You got 4K camera. You've got a very nice aircraft. You're not going to get the range that you're going to get with Lightbridge, but heck, when you're flying line of sight to be safe and responsible, range is irrelevant anyway. My best advice would be to stick with what you got and see what comes out probably in March, because I have a feeling we're about to see something really new. But yeah, going to kind of have a short show. We're hitting 30-minute mark. Weather's good. Got to get out. I'm on this fitness thing, so I'm eating all this tuna and stuff, and I'm getting swole. Governor. Getting pumped up because I got to get big. Not big, but I just got to get ripped for some upcoming opportunities that I have here with YouTube. So with that being said, I'm going to shorten this show, and we're going to have a lot more content coming soon, a lot more live shows coming soon. So I appreciate your viewership. Be sure to subscribe, and there's going to be a lot more goodness here on IrixGuy's Adventure Channel, youtube.com/IrixGuy. Thanks for watching, and y'all have a good day. Hey y'all, IrixGuy here. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe, like, and share. It's viewers like you that enable my channel to continue to grow. Thank you.